our deflection, what are the steps when it comes to deflection under moment area method? How do you go about our deflection? Just now, the difference between your slope and your deflection is the centroid. The same steps apply. Nothing is changing. It is just what? Centroid. It is just the centroid. And also take note that you need the full understanding of how centroid works. Meaning, whatever thing you've learned on centroid in applied mechanics, you are applying it here. Right? Now, for the first point, which is point A, what's the value of slope there? At A, deflection at A, YA is equals to 0 mm. You know the reason for that, right? In our introductory class, we've discussed all of this. Now, at B, slope deflection at B. Deflection at B. Deflection at B. Meaning YB. What does YB means? Area between B to A, right? Area between B to A multiplied by the centroidal distance with respect to that point. You know, I'm having point A, I'm having point B, I'm having point C. Now, let's say you have, okay, you calculating your deflection, you are going to consider these two shapes, right? You know, for this first shape, it has its centroid at this point. For this other guy too, it also has its centroid at this point. You know, let's say this is let's relate this, saying this is x1, saying this is x2. Considering x1 and x2 for both figures, this first one and this second one, what centroid will I consider when calculating the deflection at B? Is it s1 or x2? Okay, you didn't get my question. Let me repeat myself. We want to get the deflection at each point. I will know the deflection at A to be 0, right? Now, moving on to the deflection at B. You know that by deflection, what does deflection say? Deflection is telling that area multiplied by centroid. Recall that when we did our derivation, we got this being the deflection. Say y is equals to m over ei dx multiplied by x bar. Where this is your area, where this is your what? Centroid. This area, we've gotten it previously, three of us, from our slope calculation. Meaning what we need is just the centroid. This centroid multiplied by each of this shape. Now, back to this question. Calculating the deflection at B. Calculating the deflection at B. To understand how your deflection works, go back to Theorem 2. Theorem 2 states that the vertical displacement between the tangent of any 2 points on the elastic curve of a beam is equals to the product of the area under the M by EI diagram multiplied by the centroidal distance with respect to that point. Keyword, with respect to that point. Say you want to calculate the deflection at B and you want to use centroid, or you want to determine the centroid of these two shapes. Observe that this shape has two centroids. Say x1, x2. With respect to that point that you are calculating deflection, what centroid are you going to calculate? S2. Meaning this is S2. You need the S2 of figure 1 and you need the S2 of figure 2. That's what 2 is saying. That's what 2 is saying. Yes? No, that's how centroid works. By definition, what is centroid? Centroid is a point where the whole weight of a body is acting. That's the centroid by definition. Centroid is a point where the whole weight of a body is acting. So if you have this type of shape now, it is expected that this, assuming this guy being a body, it is expected that the whole weight should act at the midpoint. So that's why I'm picking my centroid from this point. Similarly for this. So that's what centroid means by definition. This is just basic understanding of applied mechanics. Are we good to go? Alright. Now, let's get the centroid of figure 1. Solving for the centroid of figure 1. For figure 1, let's get the centroid. What's figure 1? This is figure 1, right? This is figure 2. What's the centroid of figure 1? What's the centroid? For rectangle, it is L over 2. L over 2. For rectangle, it is L over 2. This is it. For this first shape, this is our shape, right? When it comes to centroid, you can get centroid both in the y-axis and the x-axis. So let's say this is h. Let's say this is your depth, say h. Let's say this is your breadth, say b. And relate this. By the time we relate this to Cartesian coordinates, this is x and this is what? Y. So to get y bar, meaning centroid of y, that becomes what? H over 2. Right? To get x bar, that becomes what? B. That becomes what? B over 2. So that's the concept. So for this guy, for different type of shape, they have their own centroid. And I gave us in the last class. Deflection at B, right? Deflection at B is equals to the area multiplied by the centroid of figure 1, right? Plus the area multiplied by the centroid of figure 2. Now, what's the area of figure 1? That's the base times height. We've calculated this previously, and that was what? 3 multiplied by 30 over EI. This gives us what? 90 over EI, 90 kilonewton meter. Right? What's A2? The area of figure 2 is what? 1 over 2 multiplied by base times height. And this will be what? 1 over 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 75 over EI. And this is equals to what? 112.5 kilonewton meter, all divided by EI. What's our unknown here? Our unknown is the centroid of figure 1 and centroid of figure 2. Now let's solve for the centroid of figure 1. What will be the formula? That's B over 2. Right? B over 2. And this should be what? 3 all divided by 2, which is equals to what? 1.5 meter. Let's get the centroid of figure 2. What do we have? What's your centroid? For this shape now, it has the centroid, it has 2 centroid. The first one with respect to point A, the second one with respect to point B. With respect to B, your centroid is 2B over 3. With respect to A, your centroid is B over 3. Right? So the question you need to ask yourself, out of these two formulas, which one are you using? Why is it 2B over 3? Because the deflection is with respect to B. What if the deflection is to A? That becomes what? B over 3. So that's it. So substitute. What do you have? 2B over 3. Substitute your value. That becomes 2 times 3 all divided by 3. Observe that 3 cancel out. You are left with what? 2 meter. Therefore, the deflection at B, substitute values. What do you have? Substitute value of area and centroid of figure 1. The area and centroid of figure 2. What do you have? 90 over EI multiplied by 1.5 plus, what do you have? 112.5 over EI multiplied by 2. So let's get this value. The deflection at B, the product of this is what? 135 over EI plus 225 over EI. The summation of this gives us what? 360 over EI. What will be the unit? Let's solve for the next one. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? So meaning this is how you get your deflection at B. Deflection at C, what do I have? YC equals to, all into bracket, A multiplying X of figure 1 plus so what's the area of figure 1? We've gotten it already, so just call the value for me. 90 over EI kilonewton meter. This was A1, right? Area of figure 1. This was what we got now. Alright, now for figure 2, what's our answer? 112.5 kilonewton meter over EI. Then for figure 3, let's solve that. 1 over 2 times base times height. So I have 1 over 2 multiplied by, that's 2 times 30. 2 cancel out. What do you have? 30 kilonewton meter, all divided by EI. So I've gotten the area of each shape. Now for the centroid of each shape, for our centroid, let's solve for our centroid. For figure 1, what's our centroid? What's the centroid? That's for centroid of figure 1 with respect to C. What do we have? B over 2. Take our L. Let's take L as B. So I'm saying B over 2 plus 2. Where is this 2 coming from? The remaining distance to get to C. So substitute values. What do you have? 3 over 2 plus 2. And this gives you what? 3.5. Right? 3 divided by 2 is what? 1.5. 1.5 plus 2, that's 3.5. Then for the centroid of figure 2, what is the centroid of figure 2? 2b over 3. 2b over 3 plus 2. Substitute your values. This is what? 2 times 3 all divided by 3 plus 2. This cancel out. You then have what? 4 meter. Lastly, for the centroid of figure 3, what do you have? 2b over 3. Are you adding any distance to this? Why? Because you are the extreme end, which is what? C. So substitute values. This becomes 2 multiplied by 2 over 3, which is equals to 4 over 3. And this gives you what? 1.33 meter. 1.33 meter. Any questions so far? So let's sum this up. So let's get the product. Let's get the product. So the deflection at C becomes, please cut the values for me. What do we have? 90 over EI multiplied by 3.5 plus 112.5 over EI multiplied by 4 plus what do we have? 30 over EI multiplied by 1.33. So get this. Press this in your calculator. What's the answer? 90 separately. 315 over EI plus, what's the answer to this? Plus 450 over EI plus, what's the answer to this? 39.9 over EI. The summation of this gives us what? Input your calculator. What do you have? 804.9 over EI. Therefore, the deflection at C approximately, what do we have? 805 over EI kilonewton meter. Kilonewton meter. Assume the value of EI as what? 24,000. So substitute. This becomes what? 805 multiplied by 10 always power of 6 over 24,000. That is, the deflection at C becomes what? 0.034 meter. So this is how you go about slope and deflection. So this is what? This is the deflection for C. This is how you go about the deflection for C. So let's say you are giving, our first example, giving a cantilever beam, having a point load at the free end. Our second example, giving a cantilever beam, having 2-point load, one at the free end and the other one at the mid span. So this is how you go about your slope and deflection. Same principle, same steps. Your first task is make the relationship between the tangent of the elastic curve. Then your second step is what? Draw your M by EI diagram. Then your third step is get the area of this shape. So this is how you solve question on slope and deflection. If you find this video helpful, do it to smash the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Also drop your thoughts in the comment section.